recognize me as the king's cousin. I would be more valuable as a hostage for ransom than as a slave. Why haven't you been rescued? When elves capture humans, they divide them into small groups aboard their fleet of flying ships. That way, rebellions are manageable and usually non-existent. Aboard these ships, slaves are impossible to track. And if there was a plan to rescue us, they'd never be able to single out this particular frigate. If King Stefan knew you were here, could he rescue you? The Duke brightens up. It's possible, I suppose. If you can get to my cousin and tell him that I am being held prisoner here in Drevlin, he would do everything in his power to rescue me. You'll need something to convince him, though. The Duke thinks for a moment, then reaches into the lining of his tattered jacket and produces a gold signet ring. Go to Ulandia, the fourth island. Give this to the king. The ring should be enough to convince him to believe you. Okay. A slight pleading expression creeps into his eyes. As you wish, but I can only hope that you will return to aid us. And there's the next location we had to reach. Alright, let's get the hell out of here. I think we've done everything here. Let's enter the ship. Steering wheel. King Stefan's castle. Alright, we're going to save our new destination. Alright, LPDG 003. Alright, let's keep going. Off to the north you see a splendid castle, although it's built more like a fortress. 2 sentries guard this gate to the castle. A path winds around the castle wall. Why are you sneaking around on royal grounds, knave? What's your business here? I'm not sneaking, and who are you calling a knave? Blackguard. That's a form of the word guard I'm not fond of. Who are you calling a blackguard, varlet? Who are you calling a varlet, ruffian? Who are you calling a ruffian, scoundrel? Who are you calling a scoundrel, rogue? Who are you calling a rogue, rapscallion? Who are you calling a rapscallion, thug? Who are you calling a thug, miscreant? Who are you calling a miscreant, cod? Who are you calling a cad, villain? Who are you calling a villain, scamp? Who are you calling a scamp, scapegrace? Who are you calling a scapegrace, cur? Cur, you're resorting to animal references. Well, I'm all out of insults anyways. What the heck do you want? I'm here to see the king. Would you tell him I'm here? You and everyone else in the kingdom. Now, if I start making special trips to the king to tell the king you're here, I'll have to do it for everyone else. You look around, but see no one else waiting. The guard just smiles. If you had real business with the king, you'd have an appointment. Now, just turn around and go back the way you came. You don't understand. The king isn't expecting me, but I've got to see him. His cousin is in danger. Is he in danger of running out of money? He must be pretty desperate if he's enlisting help from the likes of you. Do you have any proof? A signed note from the Duke? Anything? I don't have any time to speak with subordinates. Let me through. I'm on a royal mission. You don't have time to talk to me, huh? What a coincidence. I've just used up all the time I've allotted for this conversation. Have a nice trip back to wherever you came from. Just make sure you start your journey very quickly. Well, I'm gonna talk to you again, you dick. Sure, you do that. If you pull anything out of the air that supports your story, you be sure to hand it over. Until then, you better be on your way. Fine. Look at this stupid ring. You hand the Duke's ring to the nearest guard. He examines it carefully, then eyes you with suspicion. Somewhat forcefully, he offers to escort you inside. It doesn't seem to you that you have much choice. Soon you enter the royal throne room. You stand in front of King Stefan himself. Once a renowned warrior, he is older now, but remains a powerful and formidable man. He shuns royal robes in favor of battle armor, as if he's ready to lead his troops to war at any second. He sits comfortably on the throne and looks at you with a light smile. Beside him hovers a brown-robed wizard. He casually introduces himself as Trian, the royal magician, but at the same time he watches you warily. What do we have here? A brigand who's stolen my cousin's signet ring? Someone who's kidnapped the Duke? What do you want from me? Ransom? I must warn you, I don't deal with traitors to the crown. It's hard to talk business with someone who's missing a head. Now that you've been dispensed with the preliminaries, tell me why you're here. Your cousin gave it to me to substantiate my story. If you allow me a couple of words between threads, I'll relate this facts. Indulge yourself, my friend. I'm all ears. Well, it's like this. You explain Duke Andrews is rotting in the slave galley on Drevlin. You're quick to add that you can't guarantee how long the ship will remain there. You suggest that the king sends his forces to rescue the Duke immediately. King Stefan considers it. I appreciate the information, but there's little I can do. Drevlin is the elves' main source of water. They guard it jealously. My armies wouldn't make it anywhere near the ship that Andrews is trapped aboard. There is another way if my cousin is out of the elves' clutches. We will be able to free him. Somehow you have a way to get in and out of Drevlin undetected. Return there, get that slave ship to lift off, to go back to the Trebius Empire. I don't know how, but you must do it. Their ships traditionally follow a route through space that I control. We will set an ambush for it. As soon as we see the frigate, we'll box it in. Those ships are usually manned by skeleton crews. We shouldn't have any trouble wresting control. After the ship is ours, we'll bring it here and free all of the slaves on board, including my cousin. You are now my agent. If you are able to pull this off, I'll make it worth your while. I'll inform my men that you represent my authority, just so you won't run into any trouble. We're at war, you know, and my men are very suspicious of potential spies. Good luck, my friend. I hope to see you back here soon. The guards, a little less roughly this time, escort you out of the castle and back to the main gates. Alright, let's go to the trees. No. A window in the castle wall is covered by a warped wooden shutter. Bushes and trees have overgrown the path. Alright, let's take the shear. Look at the bar. Lift the bar with the shear. You slide the garden shear into the crack made by the warped shutter. Just under the bar on the other side, with a quick flick of your wrist, you lift the bar out of its brace and send it clattering to the floor. Open it. And we're going to go in. Hey, we've learned a spell. Identify. Yeah. Create reality pocket. Reality. When any picture is created, the artist also makes a pocket of reality inside the mystical plane called the otherwhere. Although metaphorically, the artist is capturing a moment of time when he paints a picture, he actually freezes that moment inside the otherwhere. The create reality pocket spell, when cast upon a picture, forms a portal to that captured moment. Oh, okay. Let's go inside. You slip through the half-open shutter into the chamber beyond. This living chamber is reminiscent of a library. Obviously, it belongs to someone of learning. We'll need that for Limbeck. Alright, I guess there's nothing. There's a tapestry, so let's try... Actually, let's read the book. It's a good idea to read them. Tower of the Brotherhood. Oh my freaking god. Alright. At the risk of sounding immodest, no society of wizards since the ancient Sartan has gathered more knowledge or commanded such power. We are unequaled. Indeed, other wizards have begun to view us as a threat. Because of this, and for other reasons as well, we have decided to move into the High Realm. There, we will be able to focus our attention on learning. We will be free from the petty concerns that dominate the minds of those who have enslaved themselves to war. To this end, it was necessary to construct ships, procure cargo and supplies, and obtain building materials for our new cities. Some of the needed supplies were scarce, others were illicit, or under the control of the elves, with whom we ourselves are currently at war. Thus, we were forced to rely on the trade and contraband. The smuggling trade is regulated by an organization called the Brotherhood, which rules over the trading routes with an iron fist. Our decision to make use of the Brotherhood was a difficult one, but we were left with no alternative. For the first time in our history, we needed help. The Brotherhood is a guild of assassins, but its membership wields enormous political power through their connections to people placed at the highest level of government. Their reputation is spotless. I have never known of a contract that wasn't eventually executed, so to speak. Given this, it's understandable that their services don't come cheap. Over the course of thousands of years, the Brotherhood has amassed a fortune, sufficient in size to buy and sell most kingdoms a few times over. In addition to the money have come relics, treasures, and information, surpassing the wildest dreams of any museum or library. But when it came to safeguarding these precious possessions, the Brotherhood turned to us. They sought our assistance in the creation of a magic fortress in which their operations could be centralized and their treasures stored. At that time, after much debate, we sent them packing, only to ultimately discover some advantage in assisting them. For the Brotherhood had exactly what we needed: limitless funds and strong connections in every market. Not only were they willing to give us enough to buy 10 times what we required, they would make the elusive suppliers available to us, so we agreed. Man, I regret reading this book. From the beginning, many of us viewed the task as an intellectual challenge. The magics required to build such a fortress would involve spell merges and constructs heretofore unknown. We see it as a way to increase our knowledge and enhance our abilities. It was a deal with the devil, of course, but never before had we been able to concentrate so many diverse talents on a single goal. The potential for unparalleled growth was enormous. The construct itself was relatively simple. We incorporated enough secret passages and magic portals into the fortress to keep even the most paranoid assassin happy. Merely to open the front door requires an intricate and exhaustive ritual. The door could have been made easier to operate while equally secure, but the members of the Brotherhood wanted the doorway to feel complex. Oh well. They're the ones who now have to remember half a page of nonsense gestures simply to enter their home. The most interesting part of the project was the vault, the Brotherhood's ongoing quest to gather all the Sartan artifacts in the realms had left them with a number of priceless pieces. One of our top priorities was to build a storage room to house them, something completely secure. We thought long and hard about the best way to protect their treasures. Eventually, we all agreed that the safest place to put them was the otherwhere. Okay, I already know about the otherwhere, sort of. The vault. We constructed a special chamber in the tower called the vault. Most of the room, all except a platform in the center, was intended to house the Brotherhood's treasure. The platform was to serve as the room's safe area, the place where the complex spells were going to be cast, and eventually from where the treasure would be summoned and banished. The chamber was filled with the treasure, and 5 mystery arcs took to the platform. Working in concert, they magicked a portal to the otherwhere. Unlike the simple create reality pocket spell, this portal was permanent. Everything in the chamber, not upon the warded platform in the center, was transported into the otherwhere. Naturally, the Brotherhood wanted to be able to retrieve the treasure, and they lacked the magic ability to summon it back themselves, so we created a link in the spell, a set of key crystals. While these crystals are in place, they break the spell, much like a hand can interrupt a beam of sunlight. Everything previously banished into the otherworld will materialize and remain until the crystals are removed. We constructed a pedestal inside the warded platform. When the crystals are placed upon this pedestal, they will unlock the spell and summon the treasure. The Brotherhood found this solution acceptable, but decided to add a further level of security as well. The treasure chamber was hidden behind a wall covered with carved handprints. Each handprint was inlaid with a different material, usually gemstones, to distinguish them from one another. When these handprints were pressed in a certain order, the wall would open. We constructed the wall based on their specifications and made some further recommendations. The correct sequence that would open the wall did not have to be the same all of the time. We added a method to change the sequence, based on the time of the month. Of course, we left the actual entry codes up to the Brotherhood. They wanted the entry codes to remain a secret, even from us. The Brotherhood trusts no one. I believe that they had been powerful enough to eliminate everyone associated with the construction, they would have done so. Only the fact that we intended to leave the mid-realms made the Brotherhood rest easy. I surmised that if they knew that this text existed, they would stop at nothing to destroy it. Oh my god, that was one hell of a long book. Tapestry, use magic, spell, create reality pocket. Cast. You weave the spell in the air, suddenly the tapestry becomes a window into a scene. Instead of just a picture of it, it appears as if you could walk into it. 10 points. Enter. You step through the tapestry into a dank dungeon cell. This is the archetype of a dungeon cell. Spartan and devoid of all unnecessary furnishings. Wizard. Give the wine jug to him. The wizard warily accepts the wine jug from you. He sniffs it and takes a tentative sip. Ah, it's gooseberry wine. He tilts the jug back and takes a few hearty slugs. Afterward, when he has placed it on the